Yes, hello. This task is very small. It required using something called Doxygen, which is a tool to convert the documentation on your code to HTML file. And most of the task is already done. I have created the file and I created its layout and many of its aspects, but there is still some customization that I don't have time to finalize, and I wish you to do it. I'm opening the project. So of course you will first check in all the project files. That should download this project. Okay, it have these folders. This file called docs, this is very important. That includes the help file, the generated help file. So if you entered HTML here and went to the index, you should see the help file generated so far from the, here is the namespaces. You can see the what for example, this class, you will find this is a method inside this class with its documentation. All the project is customization to this generated file, okay, which means tweaking in the help and in the configuration file of Doxygen in order to do the customization required. So back, there is the docs file. It includes the HTML. The help comes with HTML, also with RTF to generate PDF. So I'm interested with those HTML and RTF. Here is a subfolder called extra. Some files that I would include in the help, but they doesn't come from code like those ones. Like here in installation, this text is included here. Got from here. So this is some files that I would like to include in my help file. So they are just in the extra subfolder. That's the docs. The code is in the source. You don't need the vendor. You won't find it. It's in the get ignore. You don't need anything else except the configuration. Here is a file called constants and config. Here is the code in src, and the code is in these two folders. A very important file is a configuration file of Doxygen. It's called docconfig. There's two important files, docconfig and Doxygen layout. This file is for the Doxygen layout, is the layout, is controlling the layout of the help file, and this is the configuration of the conversion between the documentation and the help. So let's see those two files. This is the layout. It just control the layout of the help file, and this other one is called in the root, it's called docconfig. This is the configuration file of the Doxygen. One thing you would like to do is there is two things very important, something called the output directory, which is set to the docs. In this directory, the output file of the help is generated, and you would like to convert or change this path to match where you put the file in your desktop. That's very important. Once you receive this file, to convert this output directory to match your physical address, the project physical address on your computer. Another important thing is the input. Input is where the files that the Doxygen will get its documentation from. And here are the files. The whole project is only two classes, a class called custom engine.php, another class called report options.php. They are two classes of code belonging to one namespace. And then there is one interface called engine.php, and then there is one constants. This file includes all the constants in the project, and then these include all the exceptions in the project. And then those two files are for there are static files that include any extra text, like this one, which I have shown you here. Any, for example, installation steps, the getting started, anything you'd like to add here to give the user a more overview about this engine. Okay, so it's very small projects, only two classes, one interface, which won't be included much in the documentation, all the constants in one file, all the exceptions in one file, then just two files for more intro about the project. Again, you have to set the paths to match. You have to set the paths to match your file structure. Okay, otherwise it will give you an error. So these two files, the first file is for the layout, the second is for the configuration. Okay, then if you'd like to generate the help, of course you would need to install Doxygen. This is very important, because without Doxygen you would not be able, these two files would be meaningless. You would then open the bash or the whatever command line you would like, and there is the command which generates the help file. Is very easy command that will generate the help file based on the configuration you added. Yes, here is the command we would like. It's called Doxygen, and then the configuration file. And of course, you would like to be on the directory which includes the project. So once you get here, you would like just enter, and the help file. If there is no error, you should expect to find the help file in the docs. Here on the HTML index, you will find the help file generated for you. That's as an overview. So to start working in the project, you will first need to install Doxygen. Second, you would like to get check in all the project, my project, from Bitbucket. Third, you would change the configuration file to make the file paths as matches your physical configuration. Then you will try to generate the help. If there is no error, then the installation process of the project went fine. Now, what I would like to customize in this project. First, the first thing I would like to customize is I would like, after here, there is 3 more tabs I would like to show. And those 3 more tabs are included in Doxygen. I would like somebody to read how to make this done by studying Doxygen. But I know they are here because it's existed in the layout. If you open the layout, you will find many tabs. One of them is the exceptions. One is the examples. And that's exactly what I need. I need a tab here called exceptions. and I would like this tab, when I click on the exception, I would like to see all the exceptions of the possible exceptions of the solution as a table like this one. See here, there is a table, a nice table about this method, and this table has all the error numbers of that could come from this, that could expected from this method, then the error message, then the details of the error message. I would like the same table to be here, and when I click exception, I would like to see all the exceptions of all the methods. The exceptions could be found in this file. It's called exceptions.php. You will find here an array that has all the exceptions of the project. So I would like these exceptions to be here in a table. You will find the error number, the error message, and then a detail. Leave the details empty. I will add the details for you, but the error message and the error number could be gotten from this array. Okay, so and the exceptions is already added, the exception file. I mentioned, as we mentioned earlier, here there is 5 files from which the help is generated, one of which is the exceptions. This is the file that has all the exceptions. So you would find all the exceptions in this array. So the first requirement is this: when I click here on the exception, I would like to see a page that finds that in it I would like to see a title like all possible exceptions, or the exception, any title. I would customize the text later, but I would like the layout to be finalized, like a nice title, then a table that a user could find all possible error that he can expect, and the number, message, and details. In these details, I would give further explanation about each error. This is the first customization. The second customization is another tab called examples. Examples, when I click about this tab, I would like to see a code example, many code examples. Here there is a folder called examples. I prepared all the examples here. So I have many examples, each of them, for example, this is a code example for certain case about using the engine. So I would like you to add like 1 or 2 or 3 examples from these. So when I click example, I would like here, if I click getting started, I will find many links. When I click certain link, I will find here the description. Similarly, I would like here to be a tab called examples. When I click on it, I would like to see titles of the example, like example 1, example 2, example 3, and then I would add the exact title I want later. When I show where exactly you added example 1, example 2, example 3, then when I click about any example, I would find the text summary that describes the example, then the code example itself. So users can find example about how to use this engine. After the examples and exceptions, a third and final tab should exist. This tab, I would like it to link it to any external web page, like for example Google. So you link this tab with external URL and called it Google. So when I click it, make Google here appear inside the frame. I will use this in the future because I could need a totally custom page that I would generate later on, like HTML by WordPress or anything else. So I would like to be able to link my help with a dynamic content that I could generate from a blog or anything like this. So all I need to do is link here with an URL, and this URL would be generated inside here, would be existed inside here in this area. So to sum up, the first thing I would like here, the exceptions. I would like to see all the exceptions from the array that I showed you in a nice well-formatted table. Then I would like, besides the exception, I would like to see the examples. In the examples, I would like to see titles of many examples, and then clicking on each of them, I would like to see dummy text and code example. You have a folder that's full of examples. Just add one of them and I will continue the rest, just the layout, to understand how to customize it. Then the third tab would be for linking the help with an external page, external URL. So you tell me how to add this, to add a help, to add a URL with external with external URL here. This is the first thing. The second thing is here. I would like, as I mentioned, I was able to add text, and this text is here, but this text is just text. I would like to be able to add image. So to have to be able to add image, or to add titles, subtitles like in HTML. So I would like to customize this plain text here in those three links. Just use the first one, installation. In this installation, I would like you to add not only plain text, but also an image and just a subtitle like in HTML. That would be interesting because I would like to add some formatting, not just plain text. Okay, that's the second group of customization. The third group of customization is, it will be in this, let's see, in this function called create report. As you see, here is the function create report, and this is what the function does, and then what the function returns, and here is the exceptions about this function. I would like to also add a code example here, which is easy by this tool. I would like to have a code example about using this function. Just add any code, and then I will add the correct code later. Just I would like to understand the customization you've done. So after the exception, add here code example, and add the code example like in PHP, like here in PHP. If you go any help file, like example, if you go to the help of any function, you will find some text, but you also find a code about how to use this function. Okay, so there should be, and it is among the using of this tool Doxygen, there is how to add code example, but I don't have the time to read. So just add the here code example. That's very important. Then I would like to be able to link this function, which is called the create report, is taking a parameter. One of those parameters, or any function could take like parameters. One of those parameters could be a constant. So I would like you to link this function with any constant you like, and I will add the correct constant later on. All the constants, you will find it here. Here. So for example, if a function is taking the constants called SRL public report, okay, I would like you to, in the help file of this function, to have a link, a hyperlink with these constants that would land here. So if you go from one function to, like here, you will find a see also section, which has, if you're speaking about a constant, you can go from a part of the help to another part of the help by a hyperlink. I'm sure, and I have read it, it's called C in Doxygen. It's called this attribute called C, and it works perfectly, but I would like someone to read the help to be able to do it correctly. So for example, in this function, there could be a link to any constant you like. Okay, use create report, the method create report in custom engine. Use this function for all the customization, so I'm not go back and forth between the functions to understand where exactly you implement the customization. Use this function because I used it in the exception thing. So add from here, from create report, a link to whatever constant you would like. So I can see how you have a hyperlink from one part of the help to another. So the first linking would be from a function to a constant. The second, and the constant would play a parameter in this method. Of course, this method here is parameterless, but there is other methods that has a constant as a parameter. Then I also would like to be able to link one function to another function. So one function to a constant, that's hyperlink. Also another hyperlink is between one function and another function. The linking here is very important. Also, I would like you. This is the third. This is the code example and the linking. Another issue is that there is some here in the constant. In order to go to display the constant, I go from constant file list, then config, then constant to display all the constant. I don't like this. I would like, once I click constant, I would like the constant to appear without having to go through all these unnecessarily links. And I also don't need to have the section file member. So in all these things, I would like just to click constant and find the constant here. I don't like to see all these unnecessarily sub levels, and I don't want to see the file members here. I don't want it. Okay, that's okay. The last issue is that there is a class called public report, and in this class there is many properties that are get and set. Neglect the get. I would like also only to see the set method, the set property, and I would like you to add like help without just the parameters, and if the function is the property is throwing any exception to add it, but without I will edit the description later. I just would like the stampa, the structure, to be able to edit it. So here is the class. It's called public report options, and it has a number of properties that are get and set. I don't want to write any help in the get, only the set, because the customer will not use the get. He will also only use the set functions. So I don't want any help or documentation to the get, only the set. And in this set, I would like just you to add the help that later on I would customize. So we would just mention the parameters, and if there is, I don't think there is an exception, but if there is exception about any of them, anything throwable, you just add it. And that's it. That's all the customization that is needed. Please, when you deliver this, please just send me a video like this one I sent you, and tell me exactly in each customization what exactly you have done and show it to me working, so I could receive this work from you. So I expect after you finish that you push the code and then send me a video that explain everything in this customization and how it's working in your computer for me to set it. And I also will appreciate if after you finish return the file structure back to where it was, so I don't have to set it back. You just keep it somewhere and paste it over the input and output folders in the configuration file. Thank you, that's all. And please confirm that you can do this project to PICU. I'm waiting for this confirmation.